If you had to guess which town in the United States was the single most violent, would you have picked Tiny Industry, California? Probably not. Most of us would likely name St. Louis or Baltimore, maybe Chicago or New York. But all these cities also cannot be called cities of gangsters. So, which are the cities where most violent crimes take place? In today's video we are going to show you Top 10 Most Violent Cities in United States in 2023. The FBI's annual crime in the U.S. reports reveal all sorts of details about the state of crime in our country, and include details on crimes committed, people arrested, weapons used, and more. For our purposes, we're focusing on which cities have the highest rates of violent crimes: murder, aggravated assault, rape, and robbery. We're also excluding all cities under 10,000 in population. But before starting the video, I want to request we put our best efforts to create our every single video. So please don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Let's start. Number 10. Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Baton Rouge is a highly dangerous city in Louisiana, and one of 3 cities in the state to make the list of the most dangerous cities in the United States. In 2022, there were 12,426 violent and property crimes reported in Baton Rouge, of which 2,651 were considered violent crimes. Violent crime in Baton Rouge affects nearly 12 in 1,000 people, and the likelihood of becoming a victim of a violent crime in this city is 1 in 84. The murder rate in Baton Rouge is 0.40. Compared to the national average of 0.07. The risk of non-violent property crime is even greater, with 1 in 23 people likely to be victimized annually. Burglary, theft, and carjacking are among the most common threats in Baton Rouge. Visitors to this city should exercise caution and avoid high-crime areas to ensure personal safety. Number 9. Shreveport, Louisiana. Shreveport can be a dangerous city for both locals and tourists, although it does not have as many violent or property crimes as larger cities on the list. In 2022, Shreveport saw 9,294 violent and property crimes, with 1,771 being violent crimes such as armed robbery, carjacking, and homicide. The crimes in Shreveport are concentrated in bad neighborhoods, where tourists generally do not venture. However, some statistics from Travel Safe Abroad make Shreveport particularly concerning for female and solo travelers. There is a disturbingly high number of rapes in Shreveport, approximately 133 per 100,000 people, compared to the harrowing national average of 40 to 45 per 100,000 people. The overall crime rate in Shreveport is 9.62 per 1,000 residents, and approximately 1 in 104 people become victims of a violent crime in Shreveport. Number 8. New Orleans, Louisiana. Despite its nickname as the Big Easy, New Orleans is considered one of the most dangerous cities in the United States. In fact, it was recently named the new murder capital of the U.S., with the highest number of homicides in the country for the number of residents. In 2022, there were 280 homicides in New Orleans, the highest number the city has seen in 26 years. This translates to 52 murders per 100,000 residents. Of the 20,722 crimes reported in 2022, more than 5,200 were considered violent crimes. New Orleans saw significant increases in violent carjackings, shootings, and armed robberies during the year. Nonetheless, visitors to New Orleans should exercise caution and be mindful of their surroundings to ensure personal safety while in the city. Number 7. Cleveland, Ohio. While not ranking among the top 5 most dangerous cities in the United States, Cleveland is still considered a dangerous city. In 2022, there were 20,546 crimes committed in Cleveland, with violent crimes representing 6,316 of the overall number. Property crimes are more prevalent in Cleveland, with about 14,200 property crimes reported during the last year. 1 in 58 people will be the victim of a violent crime each year in Cleveland, according to current data, with 17.16 people out of 1,000 targeted by violent criminals. Although crime rates are high in Cleveland, they mostly affect locals and less frequently tourists. Number 6. Detroit, Michigan. Detroit has been a regular fixture on the list of the most dangerous cities in the United States for several years. While violent crime in Detroit has decreased by 11%, property crime has been on the rise. Annually, Detroit sees around 37,320 crimes, with approximately 14,580 of those being violent crimes. In 2022, 1 in 43 people were victimized by violent criminals in Detroit. Comparing this to the Michigan overall violent crime rate of affecting 1 in 202 people, it is clear how dangerous the bad neighborhoods in Detroit can be. While the waterfront areas in Detroit are generally considered to be the safest, neighborhood boundaries can be fluid and tourists can easily end up in bad neighborhoods, with few landmarks to make navigation easy. It is important to exercise caution and avoid high crime areas while in Detroit, especially during late hours. Number 5. Memphis, Tennessee. Memphis is among the top 5 most dangerous cities in the United States and has seen an increase in crime rates over the past several years. With 50,566 crimes reported in 2022, nearly 16,000 were violent crimes that caused injury or death to victims. The likelihood of becoming a victim of violent crime in Memphis is high, with 1 in 40 people experiencing such a crime in a given year. This figure is significantly higher than the statewide violent crime rate in Tennessee, which stands at 1 in 148. While Memphis is generally not considered a safe city to visit, it is possible to enjoy a secure trip by sticking to tourist zones with higher levels of security, police presence, and safety measures in place. Number 4. Baltimore, Maryland. Baltimore ranks as the 4th most dangerous city in the United States, with a high crime rate of 26,546 crimes reported in 2022. While property crimes represent the majority of incidents, there were still 9,029 violent crimes throughout the year, making Baltimore a dangerous city to live in or visit. The likelihood of becoming a victim of crime in Baltimore is 1 in 64, with an overall violent crime rate of 15.66. Violent crimes, theft, and muggings are among the most common crimes committed in the city, making it an unsafe destination for tourists. It is important to take necessary precautions and remain vigilant while in Baltimore to ensure personal safety. Avoiding high crime areas and practicing situational awareness can help reduce the risk of becoming a victim of crime while in this city. Number 3. Birmingham, Alabama. Birmingham ranks as the 3rd most dangerous city in the United States, with 15,231 crimes reported in 2022. This puts it in the bottom 1% of the safest cities in the country. The likelihood of being victimized in Birmingham is 1 in 49, meaning that at least one person out of every 49 will be the victim of a violent or property crime. Although most crimes in Birmingham are property-related rather than violent, there were still 4,065 violent crimes and over 11,100 property crimes reported in 2022. In recent years, the murder rate in Birmingham has increased, with 2022 being the deadliest year on record for the city, with 144 homicides. Number 2. Mobile, Alabama. MoneyGeek has ranked Mobile as the 2nd most dangerous city in the United States. In 2022, 26,089 crimes were reported in Mobile, including both violent and property-related offenses. The likelihood of becoming a victim of crime in Mobile is 1 in 36, with an overall crime rate of 27.94 in the city. Although this may appear to be a higher rate than that of St. Louis, the most dangerous city in the U.S., it is important to note that the majority of crimes in Mobile are property-related and not violent in nature. The murder rate in Mobile is 0.46, which is alarming when compared to the U.S. murder rate average of 0.07. This disparity in murder rates emphasizes the severity of the situation in Mobile. Number 1. St. Louis, Missouri. In 2022, St. Louis reported 20,533 crimes, both violent and property-related, making it the most dangerous city in the United States at present. The likelihood of falling victim to a crime in St. Louis is 1 in 67, which is significantly higher than the state's average. Furthermore, violent crimes are prevalent in this area, making the situation even more alarming. As compared to the national murder rate of 0.07, St. Louis's murder rate is 0.64 per 1,000 individuals, according to Neighborhood Scout. This figure indicates that the murder rate in St. Louis is considerably higher than the national average. While property crimes are common in tourist areas, it is still possible to have a safe visit to St. Louis by avoiding the most crime-ridden parts of the city. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching.